Blair's political spectrum is, I think, pretty restricted.
2 students out of 100 are socially conservative, would be an estimate.
I'm afraid of the repercussions. I'm afraid that if I say something just maybe even mildly conservative, or I disagree with people who say liberal things, like who express the liberal viewpoint, people will shoot me down.
Because there's a very liberal, culture here at Blair, and so I think the conservative viewpoint probably doesn't get expressed as much.
You guys think I'm intolerant for not supporting gay rights, but you guys are being intolerant by not accepting me as a conservative.
I'm Tony. I'm a junior at Blair. Last year, for example, I took AP NSL Government, and my teacher was a very, very far left liberal. A lot of the time when we would be discussing current events, what's going on, especially with this election, he would say things that would be not ignorant, but not always, he wouldn't always keep in mind that what he said could offend someone or make someone feel as if their opinion doesn't matter. So I would sit there in class and I wouldn't feel comfortable saying oh, that's not cool, because everyone in the room is agreeing with him.
Our area and Blair as a whole is extremely liberal, I would say far left on the political spectrum. Of course, there are some conservative outliers from time to time, but there are very few, maybe only a handful, considering that my opinions are pretty unpopular in this area. And I've met with some intolerance and some hate in my younger years. Before I knew about this sort of thing, I've had to keep silent, and I'm only now speaking out. I remember talking to somebody and then just being sworn at, just being cursed at just for being a Republican. And so that really scared me. So starting in 8th grade, I was like, if everybody in this school is like this, then I'm just not gonna talk, because I don't want that sort of hate anymore.
I'm Jack, and I'm a senior here at Blair. Because people are so unaccustomed to their views being challenged and their understanding being challenged, they get offended really quickly.
I think that there's a strong argument to be made that the lack of understanding of the other side's ideas and opinions is part of the root cause of our current political crises.
Compromise politically has become this really negative thing where candidates say, I will never compromise my values, and we shouldn't have to compromise.
It's driven by what's happening in the national, election. The causes lie there, and that it's become so polarized that the two sides just can't talk to each other, and that is reflected in the classroom.
The media likes conflict. The pundits that are invited on to even the neutral shows, moderate compromise doesn't sell ad time, and it doesn't get viewers to pay attention.
We have the capacity more now than we've ever had before to surround ourselves with people who believe exactly what we believe, right? Whether it's through social media or our neighborhoods or our schools. We have the ability to block out anything that we don't agree with.
People have begun to sort themselves. People have grouped themselves to promote their own cultural lifestyles in a way that also echoes their political beliefs.
Well, most college campuses have a bit of a liberal bent in terms of the faculty in academia are liberal. And the numbers of conservative faculty is quite small. You can get in a whole argument about why that's the case, but just take it as a fact. So if most of the instructors are liberal, conservatives are going to feel hesitant about expressing their views. Where in a classroom, the teacher is like a god. They control the discussion, they award grades, they have a lot of power. Students take their cue from the professor.
You want to create a method for students to disagree with each other civilly.
Obviously, a teacher doesn't always know if a student has different political views, so a teacher should try to create a welcoming atmosphere.
From my viewpoint, that's the whole point of the classroom discussion, is not just to hear arguments from one source, but then to debate them and talk about them. And if you don't have a debate, it's not going to be as interesting.
I'm less interested in the label that we attach to the people that are arguing than what their actual arguments are.
I try and provoke a reaction and challenge the conventional wisdom that's emerging in the classroom. It's just constant.
I think, yes, a teacher should definitely challenge majority opinions as well.
You just kind of trust teachers to hopefully not be interested in indoctrination, and you know, education is about looking at questions. It's about evaluating perspectives. And if you're not doing that, then you're not really educated.
People, if you hear somebody express something that's different from your beliefs, that's different from the popular belief, please don't shoot them down. Please respect their opinions, because that is what tolerance is.